Ollie.
Hi.
Ollie, how have you been?
I've been kind of good. Not really, honestly. It's just the same old stuff every day. It's getting really tiring. Extremely tired, and ready to change. I don't want this life anymore. You know, it was my son's birthday yesterday. He's 18 years old, and that tore me apart because last year, this time, my kids were sending me a video on Valentine's Day telling me that they love me and stuff, and it just tore me apart to be back on the streets again and to be back on blues again when I was working last year and doing well, you know. And my kids had hope that I was going to be back, you know, but I messed up and fell back into the same lifestyle again, and I'm just getting tired of it. Tired of the way people treat me. You know, they don't know people don't know who they are treating like that. Like, you know, they don't know what past they had. You know, everybody's one decision away from like being on the streets, or you know, one tragedy, you know, happens, and boom, next thing you know, your whole life changes, and like everybody is it's possible for everybody to go through what we are going through right now, like, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy how people just treat you so horrible. Like, they look down on you and just treat you like with disgust. When I was in the same shoes they are, I had everything they had, like, and more probably than most of them. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I was, like I said before, like a prestige woman of my city. Like, I really was. Like, I was a different woman, but you know, it is what it is. I didn't process life the way I should have, and landed to where I am. But I am very tired, is how I'm doing. I'm just exhausted.
So since the last interview, you went back to work. You got your life straight.
No, well, I don't know if what was it? Did I? Yeah, I guess I did.
The last video, I think it was like 9 months ago, maybe 10 months ago.
No, I had relapsed right when I seen you.
Okay.
I think, like, I just relapsed when I did the interview. It was fresh, so I just did what, you know, it was last year is when I was doing good. I relapsed like about like March, so it was sometime in March or April when I relapsed. So I was doing good up until then. Like, for 8 months I was sober, working and stuff. For about 4 months I was working, but yeah, it just why I relapsed. I keep trying to think, like, why, you know. I don't know. I other than, like, my addiction is to blues, is to fentanyl, you know, and it's the hardest thing ever to get off of. Like, and one thing I thank God for is my addiction, because it's humbled me. Like, I thought I was an addict before, you know, but when you become addicted to opioids, it's a whole different kind of addiction. Like, I used to think, like, oh my God, why are they putting a blanket over their head? Like, walking around them, I used to be like, God, get out of the way. Like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, you just don't care. Like, you know, I just never understood it. And that was when I was still on drugs. I was doing meth, I was doing, you know, all kinds of stuff, but I just didn't get that low, you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't see myself ever doing that. Like, whoa, that's like, whoa, you know. But then when you actually get addicted to it and you actually do those things, and you lose all self, like, care and all hope, and you just don't care anymore, and you do that stuff, you know what I mean? And you become like everybody else, and so it's been very humbling for me, but it's something that I needed in my life. I needed to be humbled, and I needed to go through the things I'm going through, so that when I come out of them, I will be strong and have dominion in those areas, to where I won't fall to this again, you know. Whether I need help with medicine, you know, Suboxone or methadone, I don't know if I want to take those yet. You know, I was on Suboxone last year, and I missed my doses for like 5 days in a row, and then next thing you know, I relapsed. So I don't know how I'm going to do it this time around, but I do know that it's getting close. Like, there's just signs. Like, I'm a spiritual person. I love God. I love Jesus, and the Holy Spirit is definitely guiding me and helps me through my life out here on the streets. And I definitely know that it's getting time. Like, I can feel it. I see signs and stuff as to why I need to go, you know, back to rehab, and I need rehab because I need structure. I need, you know, discipline. It's not about just withdrawing. It's more than that. It's the lifestyle. It's about getting used to being, you know, a regular person, that you know, having a routine, and staying disciplined to that and things like that. Like, I need help in those areas, and you know, So yeah, I do know that I'm gonna go soon. I don't know when, but I know that it's getting pretty bad out here for me, and I've had some close calls with like, well, I should be dead, and it's just getting harder, and I can't say, like, I'm so physically tired and exhausted and beat down, literally beat down, like that I know that it's death. It's the only thing that this life is gonna bring me. And so I don't want to die. I want to live. I know God has a huge calling on my life. I know that there's a lot of people that I can help. No matter how many people look down at me or think this or think that, I know who I am and I know my worth, and that's what's kept me alive this far. And I'm not going to forget that ever. But anyways.
So from your last interview, did you get recognized?
Yeah, like everybody in the streets was like, "Oh my God, Holly, your interview, I saw you online." I was like, but yeah, like everybody was like flipping out about it. I was like, I was famous or something.
So
I was like,
mostly positive feedback?
Yeah, it was definitely positive. It's nice for us to see things like that. Being out here on the streets, it can get so like hopeless. Like, I'm so emotional because it's like these people are good people out here. Like, like I've met some amazing people, and just to hear their stories. Like yesterday, I was talking to a man who's homeless, but he's homeless because he lost his wife and children to a head-on collision, and he couldn't process it, and he became an alcoholic, and he don't care. And the reason why he don't, now he's an old man, and the reason why he don't get help and get off the streets, and he's conquered crack. He got off crack 26 years now, heroin 24 years. Like, he's an amazing testimony of these things. And the reason why he won't let go and change his life, because he has 401k, he has all this great stuff that can help him, great credit. And the reason why he won't is because he don't want to let go of his wife and children. And like, that's so sad to me, because there's a lot of our stories out here. It's like, in some sick way, it's like we still have a piece of our past. Or maybe we're punishing ourselves. I'm not sure, but regardless, nobody's better than us, and like we've been right where you guys are, and if not, some of us have been higher places, and it's just sick how we get treated, and just how literally the city wants to like push us out to the desert to die. Like they set it up to where it's like that. No bathrooms, no way to charge, no your phone, no way to do. No, it's just sickening. Like they just want to push the homeless out to the desert to die, and that's it. And it's just like they clean up the streets, sure, recently, because of Super Bowl and everything else, and because it was really out of hand, and it was about time they did something, and they did it. So I'm sure their officers or wherever, they're really proud of themselves, because they definitely did clean it up. But it's still very much so a problem. There's still, people dying and addicts out here overdosing, and the violence and everything. It's just still very much so a problem. Whether it's in the streets or in secret, it's still a problem, and it needs to be dealt with, and not just cleaned up so that it looks better on the outside.
What do you think we can do to deal with the homelessness problem that we're having out here in Phoenix?
I feel like that, it's crazy, because you look at our city and it's like, there's so much recovery help. Like, there is. It's like ridiculous how many sober livings, how many, rehabs and detox just so much help. And there is, and that's true. There really is. And that's great. But I really know that I am a believer in God, and I was a pastor's wife prior to this, and I know that the only way to really change a person is to change their hearts. And the only way to get a hold of a heart is to by a supernatural miracle. It's something that we can't do as humans. We can't get a hold of their hearts. Like, it has to be something like God or Jesus, and something that I know that can change the heart, and that is being born again. And I was November 14, 2008. I gave my life to Jesus, and I surrendered my way, and I knew that it wasn't working, and I can't explain it, but a miracle happened, and I was born again, is what the Bible says, and you become a new creation. All old things pass away, and that's the only way I really believe, is one by one, by people hearing the gospel, and by them coming to know the truth, and their eyes being open, and it is confrontational. It's very, I get that, because there's a lot of people believe in a lot of stuff, and they feel the way they feel, but I just know what I know, and I can't ever change it or deny it, or even if Jesus himself came down and said, hey, this is all a hoax, it's fake, I'd be like, yo, you better hope God didn't hear you and hurry up and get back up. You know what I mean? Like, I know what's true, and I've seen it happen in my life and others' lives, and that's how it's going to change, is one heart at a time, because it's one heart then affects the family, and then a family affects the neighborhood affects the city, and like that's the only way it's going to really truly change, like, is the gospel.
Exactly. All right, Holly. Well, thank you for giving me this update. I really do appreciate it. Are you okay if I use this on my YouTube and my social media?
Yes.
And just in case somebody wants to reach out to you with any sort of help or donations, do you have any contact information, like email or anything that you want to put out there?
Yes, I do. I'm trying to remember it exactly. It's I can't remember my Cash App exactly, but I know my email is Campbell, CAMPBELL, Misty, MISTY, 18 at gmail.com. And I want to say my Cash App is,
Well,
I think it's Miss So Dope. It's like MISSODOPE.
if they reach out to you,
Yeah, I can get it.
you could give it.
Because that is my email address, and you can get me on there. And Facebook, I can be found through Misty Campbell, MISTY Campbell, like the soup. You can find me on there. It has pictures of my kids on it, and I believe, like the profile picture and stuff. But yeah, I've not been on it in a long time, but you can always, locate me on there and find me. But definitely that's my email. But yeah.
Okay, Holly, thank you.
Thank you.